Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be looking to place an emphasis on standards if he manages to invest in Man United. It might not be the takeover that every Manchester United supporter wanted, but there is hope that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's involvement with the club can be a step in the right direction. The dethroning of the Glazer family will likely be the acid test of Ratcliffe's takeover plans, but before then, he will also look to win supporters over by raising the standards and switching the focus back to football matters rather than business ones. It has already been suggested that Ratcliffe will look to conduct a thorough review of the current structure in place and that he could also look to appoint a new sporting director to help. Those would certainly be long overdue steps in the right direction, with the hope that Ratcliffe can arrive at the club with a refreshing and ruthless approach that does not cater for mediocrity in any sense. If that happens, it could be bad news for a few of the players. Although there have been a few signs of encouragement under Erik ten Hag, United is still a side that often acts with too much sentiment when it comes to making squad decisions. There has long been a culture of rewarding players with new contracts at the wrong time and failing to move players on, seemingly reluctant to do so just in case they might be of use to them in the future. Even now, there are members of the first-team squad who hardly have a role to play and who could be sold if the club was confident enough to replace them adequately in the transfer market. Anthony Martial is one of those out of contract at the end of the season, though the club does have the option of an additional year in his contract. From a business perspective, it makes sense to trigger that in order to protect his value, though from a football perspective, there is an argument against doing it so that he can leave for free instead. United should only be extending his deal by another year if they are certain of selling him next summer, a mistake they made with Jesse Lingard when they triggered his additional year, didn't use him properly, and then lost him for free the following summer. The takeover could also lead to a more ruthless policy regarding those on the periphery. Harry Maguire and Donny van de Beek are among those clearly out of favour and not part of Erik ten Hag's long-term plans, but they were not moved on in the summer when it would have made sense to cash in on them. There is, of course, a limit on how many players any club should be looking to get rid of across a single window, but that argument is redundant when there are some who quite clearly won't ever get the opportunities they desire. Once again, these standards stem from the very top, and it will be down to Ratcliffe and his team to lead by example if, indeed, he goes ahead with his initial 25% investment. It could be good news for fans and bad news for some players.